Hello and welcome to the $100,000 Handshake. I'm your host, Steve Hopper, and I want to personally thank you for tuning in as we have a very exciting show lined up for you today. The $100,000 Handshake is all about business and personal development, sharing with you principles that will inspire you and empower you to accomplish whatever it is that your heart desires. I will be sharing with you professionals that have not only reached pinnacles of success in their careers, but they have impacted many lives along the way. And today's guest, y'all, I am so excited to have the opportunity to introduce her to you. She is one of the best speakers I have ever heard in my life. She is an author, she is a purpose coach, and she is one of my best friends. I want to introduce you all today here on the $100,000 Handshake, Clestine Herbert. How you doing?
I am doing great. Hi, everyone. I'm doing good. I'm pumped up.
I'm pumped too. I was so excited driving out here today knowing that I was going to have you on this show because I know we are going to have some fun over the next few minutes. And I know for those of y'all that are watching today, you are going to get some nuggets on this show. I promise you that, because every time her and I get together, we are dropping some serious nuggets to each other. So I'm excited to be able to share that with all of you guys today. So let's talk a little bit about your story. I want to talk a little bit about your book here in a few minutes as well.
Okay.
But let's talk about your story.
All right. So everybody's got a story, right? So I remember when I first started or was thinking about starting in motivational speaking, and I would hear all these amazing stories of all these struggles people have been in. And I'm like, okay, God, I don't have a story, right? But we all have a story, and He created one for me. So my story starts in England, right? I was born and raised in England, and I was a very, very shy, very insecure girl. So if anyone told me when I was younger that I was going to be doing this, being a motivational speaker, coach, traveling, international speaker, and traveling and helping people transform their lives, I would have probably told them, I don't think so, right? Because I was shy, even to talk to a person one-on-one. That was just like, not me. But always wanted to be a teacher, and I would play with my dolls and friends, and I was always a teacher when I played with them. So fast forward, almost 13, we moved to the United States of America. It was very overwhelming because, if you've been to England, the roads are small, the houses are small, the cars are small, and then you come to America and everything's just huge and big, and it's like a dream to come to this country. So I did some research and found out that teachers don't make a lot of money, so I decided I didn't want to do that. So I decided to do something where something that I liked and I was good at. But what I have learned, people, and I want you to get this, is just because you're good at something does not mean it's your calling or your purpose or even your passion, right? So some of us kind of mistake that because you're good at something or you like something, then I should do that something, right?
Right.
That's not necessarily true. So I discovered that the hard way. So I was good at math, good at science. And I've always had something in me that said I'm different. Well, I know what that something was, right? Now, it was God. And so I decided to do engineering. Nice. So I went into engineering. I studied industrial engineering.
I don't mean to laugh, but I'm knowing you as long as I've known you, to picture you as an engineer, I don't know.
You can't picture that, right?
I just can't picture it, but go ahead.
So I was an engineer, and I was an engineer for 8 years. 2 years into it, at lunch with the guys, and because, it's predominantly male, and so they're all talking about their 5-year goals, and all of their goals are in engineering, having a patent or designing something or being an engineering manager. And when they got to me and asked me what my 5-year goals were, I didn't have an answer. It was like this blank screen. And so on my way home, I started praying and saying, I knew I was multi-talented because I've been born and raised in the church and had just about every position you can think of, always creating some program or some event, but I just couldn't see where I fit, right? Now, I could always see where other people fit.
Right.
Couldn't see where I fit. So prayed for 6 long years, and then finally, long story short, moved to North Carolina the last 2 years of my 8-year career, and a year into that, got laid off on my birthday. And they laid off 117 people. They have 4 layoff days, and I was the only one laid off October the 27th, which is my birthday. But in my spirit, I just felt like this was something good, right? And I knew it was something good, like it was a message from God saying, I got something better. Happy birthday, my daughter.
Well, not to interrupt you, but that was part of my story too. Is that when you remember, I got laid off from a corporate job, and that's really what sparked me to go down the entrepreneur road, because I needed to figure out what I was going to do, where I was going to go, and how I was going to get there. So I just think it's really interesting that was
about that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I got laid off, but the last 2 years I was in North Carolina, and this was where he isolated me. So I didn't have any friends or family there. Of course, I made friends, but I would come home and just, I had no TV or anything. It was just me and him.
Right.
And that's where he solidified my purpose, my calling to speak around the world and to help transform lives. And so now I'm doing that through my conferences.
Your conferences are off the chain. I've actually had an opportunity to speak at some of her conferences, and let me tell you all something. If you have a chance to get to one of her conferences, and we'll give you some information later on in the show on where you can go to find out where those conferences are at, but her conferences are off the chain, amazing, life-changing. I've actually invited a lot of people to your conferences, and they're all like, they're in love with you now. Like, I see them on Facebook, and you're coaching them, and they're talking about you and your events and stuff like that. So one of the things that you focus on, and I love this because I talk about this a lot as well, is mindset. Now, you look at the top speakers in the world, you look at the top business coaches in the world, and one of the first things that we always talk about when we're dealing with business owners and entrepreneurs or people that are just struggling in their business, one of the first things that we have to address is mindset, and you are phenomenal at that. So what is it about mindset that makes that something that we're always addressing with business owners that are trying to get to the next level?
Well, we're mind, body, and spirit. We're one person, and your dollar sign or the increase in your dollar sign is tied to your mindset, right? So increased and elevated mind means increased and elevated money, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I like to teach is, it's easy for me to teach the tools of business, right? Which I do. I do that as well. I'm an in and outer kind of teacher and coach, right?
Right.
So it's easy to teach that. But what a lot of people are doing are band-aiding, right? So they have a wound, they want to do a band-aid, but band-aids can only take you so far, right? Or if you learn these tools, it's only going to take you so far. So there's so many people out there that are trying to follow the Steve Hoppers of the world, the Tony Robbins of the world, right? And do what we do, right? But it's only going to take them so far, because if your mind isn't there as well, you're going to feel like you're on a Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
Or you're going to feel like you're dragging some kind of anchor on your foot or something like that. It's only going to take you so far.
That's right. And one of the things that I tell people is, if you had a crystal ball and you could see what your life would look like if you were playing at your highest potential, the potential that we're all capable of playing at, right? If you were playing at your highest level, if you could see what your life would be like in a crystal ball, you would run through brick walls to get to it, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, you would run through brick walls to get to what's in that crystal ball.
But one of the things I'm noticing, especially in this part of the world, is everybody wants to get there without doing the work. So you're running to this conference, reading that book. How can I do this quickly? How can I do this with less pain? And the truth of the matter is, everybody's got to go through their struggles. Every one of us. Every one of us has a struggle in some area of their lives, and we all have to go through it, because out of our struggle comes the wisdom, comes the courage, and the strength. If I didn't have the struggles that I had and the challenges that I had, I would not have developed one of my most amazing or one of the most popular programs that I have, transformation programs, called the God's Prosperity Business Building system.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a 10-step system. And what it does is it helps people to learn how to build consistent success in their business. And I've had to use my system. And when I use it, it actually works, people. It does.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. No, that's an amazing program. I've seen some stuff from that program, and it's phenomenal. So I guess for the viewers, how important is it? How important is it for them to go get this education, to go to events, to go to seminars, to be at these things, to be learning? But even a step further than that is taking the stuff that they're learning and actually doing something with it. You know, I did a seminar recently, and I offered a coaching program at the end of the seminar, and a bunch of people took advantage of that coaching program, but there were many people that didn't. And some of the people that didn't were people that have come to workshop after workshop after workshop after workshop, and they've dipped their toe in the water, but they've never actually jumped into the water full-fledged before. And one of the messages that I gave them was, you know, how long are you going to do this? How long are you going to come to either the free conferences or to the $50 conferences or the $100 conferences? Because everybody wants to come and they want to get as much information as they can for free without paying for it, right?
Right.
But what happens is they just continue to go to workshop after workshop after workshop, but they're never ever really progressing it to the next level. They're not actually implementing the stuff that they're doing at those workshops. So talk a little bit about that real quick, and then we're going to take a quick break.
How important is it? If you want to see your dream come alive and to be fulfilled, you have got to do what successful people do. Successful people make sacrifices. Successful people will do whatever it takes to get to that level. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, you've been through some things. I've been through some things that I didn't want to go through, tried to avoid it. I was one of those people that tried to avoid it and go to the free things.
Oh, yeah.
And then say, I'm smart enough, I can apply it. But guess what? There's only 2% of people in the world that are focused enough and accountable to themselves enough to be able to go and apply this stuff. The rest of us, the rest of the 98%, right? We need someone or something outside of us.
You got to have somebody pushing you.
You have to.
You got to.
You cannot hold yourself accountable.
And it can't be somebody that's not at the level in life that you want to be at. Hey, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back. More exciting stuff on the way. Don't go anywhere. Clestine, the purpose coach on the $100,000 Handshake Show.
Ever need a doctor after hours? Well, searching won't help. But what do? You could go to the urgent care or ER, but if only there was a better way. Introducing the MNO Plus card. No waiting rooms, no copay, no consultation fee, giving you 24/7 access to a doctor by phone or online. It's easy to get started with affordable plans starting at $15 a month for a family of 5. For more information, visit mnoplus.com today.
The Edge, Fridays at noon. If you're an entrepreneur looking for cutting-edge information, tips, tricks, secrets, expert interviews, it's all here at The Edge. Anything you need to build your business, this is the show to listen to. It's The Edge. Check us out Fridays at noon.
% of consumers search online before even setting foot in a store. We help you create a strong foundation for your digital reputation. We help build your online presence to improve search engine rank and make sure your business information is correct across the web. You could do all of this on your own, but why would you spend more than 300 hours a year working on this? You have a business to run. Save time and put our software to work for you.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the $100,000 Handshake Show. I am here with one of my very close friends, author, speaker, motivator, Miss Clestine Herbert. All right, Miss Purpose Coach.
Okay.
Let's talk a little bit about this book, The Art of Convincing Yourself. Now, guys,
Wow, that's
hey,
a beat-up book you got
It's
there.
a beat-up book. Hey, I have beat this book up. This book is so strong. Look at this book. Look at how. Now, obviously, when you get your copy of this book, it's not going to look like this, right? It's going to be brand new. But this is my beat-up copy because there are some nuggets in here, y'all, that will change the game for you, will change the way you look at your business. It will change the way you talk to yourself, right?
Right.
Powerful.
It is.
The Art
Art
of
of
Convincing
Convincing
Yourself.
Yourself.
Talk a little bit about it real quick.
Well, okay, so I don't care what level you're at.
Mm-hmm.
Each one of us has something we have to convince ourselves to do.
Right.
And we each often are really good at talking ourselves out of it, the reason why we can't do it, right? So I wrote that book because it actually was a presentation that I did, and I was doing it around town. I kept doing it, and people kept saying, "Is this in a book? Is this in a book?" And I'm like, "No, it's not in a book." I was actually writing my memoir, and so many people kept coming up to me, so I said, you know what, I think I need to stop with that for a minute and write this book, and it was so easy to write. So The Art of Convincing Yourself, 3 questions that you need to say yes to in order to move forward. So the 3 questions that we need to say yes to move forward and to convince ourselves that we can do it and that we're able to do it and that things will actually happen and things will come to pass.
Are you going to tell them those 3 questions?
I don't know. Should I tell them 3 questions?
Tell them. Let's do it. Let's
All
talk.
right.
All right, here it comes. The 3 questions, y'all. You still got to go read the book because there's a lot more than just that.
There
But go
is,
ahead. What are
there
the
is.
3 questions?
All right. Oh my gosh. 3
Let's-
questions. So one of the questions is, am I willing to take the risk?
Am I willing to take the risk? All right. Okay.
So if you're not willing to take the risk, that's why you're having struggles. That's why you're frustrated, feeling overwhelmed. That's why you're not moving forward.
Fear.
Or not at your level.
Fear will cripple most people from getting to the place they want to be at in life.
Absolutely.
All right. So what's the
Absolutely.
second question?
The next question is this of value to myself and my business?
Okay.
Right?
All right.
So we talk a lot about value and that you need to offer value to your clients,
Right.
Your customers. But what about value to yourself? Is it adding value to your life, right? So when I was an engineer, even though there are things that I learned that I probably use now, it wasn't adding value to my life because I wasn't happy. I was not happy. I wasn't happy. I dragged myself out of bed. I dragged myself to work, and I dragged myself through the day.
Right.
And I know there's some of you going through that right now, right? It was not adding any value to my life at all.
Right. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Been there. Been there.
Been there,
I remember the
right.
first year I was speaking anywhere and everywhere I could. Every time somebody called me and asked me to come speak, yes, I'm there, I'm coming to speak. It was about a year into it, my wife finally came to me and she said, Steve, I love this. I love that you're out inspiring people, motivating people. I love that you're following your passion, but are you ever going to make any money at this? So is it valuable to you? What a great question. All right, number 3.
Do I have the ability to do what it takes?
Ooh.
Do I have the ability? The skills and the ability. Wow. So I didn't have the ability in engineering. I don't care what anybody says. I was not a good engineer. I was not. Now, some people might say I was. I wasn't.
Right.
And I saw other people. I have colleagues that I still talk to this day that are still in it, and they're passionate about it. I was not. And in that story, what I didn't share is what made me really start to pray and think was when they were going around that table talking about their 5-year goals, they were all passionate about what they were talking about. They had this thing in their eyes, and I was like, you know what? I want that thing that they have in their eyes. Yeah. I don't know what that thing is. I know it's not engineering. I want that, right? Yeah. And so I have the ability to be a great speaker and coach and author and conference leader because I was born with those gifts and those skills. So even though I liked science and math, the ability to make it a success was not there.
Now, let me ask you a question. Now, you talk about ability. Can it be taught?
It can be taught and it can be developed.
Fantastic.
But if you don't have passion, it's going to dry out real quick.
There you go.
I didn't have any passion for it.
And that's where the other part comes in.
That's where the other part.
That's where the second question comes in.
There you go.
That's where the second question comes in.
Hey.
Fantastic.
I might need to rewrite that book.
So we actually have an event coming up together. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
It's going to take place in July. July 14th is the date.
Yep.
And we're going to be talking about a biggie. We're going to be addressing public speaking. There are so many entrepreneurs, small business owners out there right now. Many of y'all that are watching this right now are scared to death to get up at the front of a room and talk in front of a group of people. But we're going to talk. People can explode their business by public speaking, by getting up, talking about their businesses in front of large groups of people. So we're going to talk a little bit about that in this workshop.
Not just about talking, though. We're going to be talking about connecting, right?
Yes,
not just talking, because there's a lot of people talking out there.
Isn't that the truth?
But we're going to be talking about how do you connect with your audience.
That's right.
And let me just share a little secret. I was very afraid to speak when I first started. I mean, I would lose sleep.
Yep.
Seriously, the night before or the whole week when I had to speak. So just because you're afraid of speaking does not mean that it's not your passion or part of your purpose.
Right. You know, and the $100,000 handshake is all about getting out in the marketplace, shaking hands, growing your business through relationships, through referrals, through word of mouth. And you're gonna, if you're out in the marketplace networking, at some point you're gonna be put in a position where you're gonna have to get up. You're gonna have to talk at some point.
Absolutely.
So we are gonna spend, it's gonna be a whole day, right? We're gonna do a whole day. So it's gonna be a whole day. We're gonna do this on July 14th. Go find out about this event. Get registered for it. You can find out about it at stevehopperevents.com. You'll see something on the screen here. You'll see a link there for you to go to. Go check it out. Get registered, because let me tell you something. We have done events together, and when you and I are working an event together, what happens?
Powerful.
Strong.
Powerful.
It's strong. You get
breakthroughs.
You get the brother and the sister together on stage, and oh, we're gonna bring it, y'all. We're gonna drop some nuggets. We're gonna change some lives, though. That's the most important thing.
That is
when
the most
people come to
important
our events, they have some breakthroughs, don't they?
They do.
And
So I want to say, for all you shy people out there, but there's something in your heart that's saying, I need to do this. I'm not shy anymore. I don't have fears anymore. I've heard people say, if you don't have fear when you're speaking, there's something wrong. That is not true. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, I still get nervous before I speak.
Do you really?
A little bit. Well, it's anxiety. I mean, it's anxiousness.
Oh.
It's more of an excitement.
It's
not.
excitement.
It's
Okay.
not a fear.
All right.
It's not. There's a
It's not
difference.
Yes, there is a difference.
I'm not
There's a
scared.
difference, right?
You know why? Because I've convinced myself. You know, I'm a firm believer that I'm going to get up there and I'm going to do my thing. And you know what? If people don't, if people aren't, they don't like it or they don't appreciate it, I know there's going to be people in the room that will, and those are the people that I'm there for. So I'm not scared anymore that I'm going to not do it right.
Do it right,
You know what I mean? I'm just going to get up there, be myself, be authentic, just give them what I've learned, and my whole goal is to impact them when I'm up there speaking. I know that's what you do too. So so it's exciting. So yeah, definitely get to that event, and let's talk a little bit about where they can go. Now, we promised them earlier in the show we were going to tell them where they could go to find out where some of your solo events are going on. So tell them where they can go to get info on that.
So my website is mypurposecoach.com. That's mypurposecoach.com. Go to my events page and you will see I have 3. I have a trilogy conference system that I have February, June, October. And so you can find out what my next event is going to be. And I would love to have you there, because it's not just an event, it's an experience. I'm about transforming lives. So I want you to be there so your life can be transformed and you can go to the next level and live your dreams.
Awesome, awesome. And go get, obviously, the art of convincing yourself. And they can get that at mypurposecoach.com too, right?
They can, or they can go to Amazon, either one.
Or Amazon, okay. The Art of Convincing Yourself by Clestine Herbert. All right, so here's what we need to do. This is $100,000 handshake fashion. I want you to give the people watching today your number one key to success. If you could tell them one principle, one thing that has always been basically your foundational principle for success, tell them what it is.
Well, for me, first it's God, right?
Okay.
But I think that one of the things that I've learned that all successful people do is we have morning rituals.
Okay.
If you do not have a morning ritual, you're going to be reactive in your day. You're going to be reactive in your life. So
you want to know what my morning ritual is? I run to the sink to brush my teeth. I'm so excited. I run to the sink to brush my teeth every day. Do you do that?
I do that.
Hey, y'all, listen. Hey, if you're not running to the sink to brush your teeth every day, then you're not excited enough about what you're doing. Okay. All right, go ahead. So morning ritual.
So morning ritual, right? And for me, it's I kind of mix mine up because of my personality. You know, I might get bored easily, so every couple of months I'm changing it. But you got to have a morning ritual so you can be proactive. Too many people get out of their bed, whatever their thought is or feeling is, that's what it is, and that's what you go with throughout the day.
Yep.
So I used to be one of those people that believe whatever I felt or thought, that was it, right? Yep. You can change that. We have the power to change the way that we think. So create a ritual to be proactive. Start with gratitude. I'm just going to give you one. Start with what are you grateful for the day? And how do you want your day to go?
Wow.
And then go from there.
All right, y'all. Get yourself a morning ritual. Get yourself a morning ritual. Hey, everybody, we want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. I love you.
Honey.
Thank you for coming today. Mwah. All right, so Clestine, the Purpose Coach, and I'm Steve Hopper, and we will see you on the next show. Go start yourself a morning ritual. Get this book. Get to an event. Go out and shake somebody's hand and change their life today. God bless you. We'll see you guys later.